Hi friends, welcome back to Quick Poetry Knowledge, and this is Mehjabeen. This is the second part of my tutorial videos on Max Ehrmann's poem Desiderata. The first part contains detailed and comprehensive line-by-line explanation of this poem. I will attach the link to that video in the description box below. Please check it out, and now let's check out the paraphrase. The poet begins his poem by advising his readers to move calmly and peacefully amidst the noise and confusion that life brings along. People are always in a hurry. People are impatient. People have no time for others. This situation adds to the chaos. The poet says that one must learn to embrace silence because it is beautiful, it is deep, it is powerful. Man gains peace and tranquility in silence. The poet makes an appeal to his readers to remember this truth. Next, he also says that as far as possible, one should learn to maintain a good relationship with others by not putting one's individuality at stake. It's important to be on friendly terms with others, but certainly not at the risk of losing one's own identity and dignity. The poet advises his readers to speak out his feelings openly, and he should always stick with the truth. However, one must not do so in a loud and offensive manner. The truth can always be spoken in a calm and quiet manner. Then the expressions will be clearly understood by the listener. Moreover, one must also learn to listen to what others have to say. Even the most boring and illiterate person might have some important message to convey, some interesting and meaningful experiences to share. However ordinary a person's life may be, however uneducated he might appear to others, the truth is that even he might have a unique story to narrate. A wise person will always be patient enough to listen to his story and gain a new perspective about life. The poet advises his reader to avoid loud and aggressive people. Folks with a violent, dominating and warlike temperament should always be kept at a safe distance from one's own self. Such quarrelsome people are nothing but elements that try to cripple the spirit of others. We should also avoid the tendency to compare our life with that of other people, for such habits can either make us unnecessarily proud of our achievements, or if we discover that we are not as well placed in life like our friend or neighbor is, we might end up with frustrations. In life, there will always be people who are better off than us in wealth, social status, and intellect, and there would be others who are not as skilled and financially sound as we are. In other words, some folks might be living better lives than us, while others may be living worse. Whatever our circumstances are, we must learn to enjoy our victories. We should also plan soundly and intelligently for our future, so that while working to make our plans successful, we derive bliss and contentment. Next, the poet advises his readers to be focused in his career even if it may seem too ordinary to him. It is important not to get demotivated, although one's job might look simple and common, although it might not be yielding a sustainable amount of money. Life is highly unpredictable. Our fate keeps on changing all the time. Under such circumstances, a person's profession, however low profile it may seem, might turn out to be his biggest asset. It may give him hope at a time when he least expects it to do so. One should also exercise care while conducting his business affairs. He should try to protect himself from deceit and treachery, for the world is full of fake and dishonest people. However, one should also not be too suspicious about the characters of others. For even in the midst of all the hypocrisy and fakeness, there are many who are genuine and honest, who fight to maintain high moral standards, people who are full of goodness and face the day-to-day struggles of life courageously. In other words, the poet means to say that the world has its equal share of vice and virtue, and one must learn to identify them and make their choices accordingly. Then the poet goes on to say that one must try to be his natural self and not strive to become someone he isn't. It is important not to make a show of loving another person if one genuinely does not care about the other person. It is important not to pretend to be in love and not to make any false promises. Neither should a person be critical about love. One should not harbor negative feelings about love due to past disappointment in the matters of the heart. Although love may seem fake and hopeless at times, it is the truth that the existence of love is genuine. It is as evergreen and everlasting as the grass. It flows continuously, so one should always give love a chance. The poet says that as one grows older, he needs to let go of some of his past habits, or maybe some of his past relationships. What worked for him in his youth may not work as he grows older. Man must learn to adapt with these changes gracefully and not cling on to those stuff which suit only youngsters. One must also learn to make oneself spiritually stronger so that one can face all kinds of unexpected blows of life. At the same time, one must teach oneself not to harbor negative thoughts and also not be apprehensive about the future. Many times it is seen that insecurities are born out of exhaustion and lack of good relationships in life. Loneliness makes people anxious. They keep worrying about how they are going to withstand the harsh adversities of life if they have no support system to depend upon. The poet advises his readers to be soft and kind to his or her own self. It's important to be balanced and disciplined in life. However, it's far more important to be gentle with one's own self and not to take on more than one can swallow. The poet also tells his reader that he is a child of the universe. His position in this world is as precious as the trees and the stars. It is the will of God that he should be here. Man has the right to live here, and sometimes, even if he may have certain doubts about the purpose of his existence in this world, he should understand that destiny is unfolding just the way God wants it to, and that if the current circumstances in the life of an individual is not good, it does not mean that he would be doomed to live such a kind of life forever. So, the poet appeals to his readers to be at peace with God and to be at peace with his soul. One should listen to one's conscience. Life does have its share of ups and downs, but man must trust the Creator and have faith in Him. The nature of our work might be different. Our dreams and aspirations might be different. But we must strive for peace in our soul by having a strong belief in God. Our spiritual strength will prevent us from getting distracted by the confusions and tribulations in our lives. Lastly, the poet also says that despite all the hypocrisy and deceit in this world, it is still a beautiful place to live in. So one must learn to be happy and cheerful. Although the world has its share of bitterness and pain, it is still worth living in. So man needs to understand how blessed he is to have gotten the chance to come to this world and live this life. Do check out my previous video on Desiderata. The link will be attached in the description box. Consider subscribing. Do check out the playlist. Please share this video with your friends and give it a like. Meet you again very soon. Bye.